My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. I'm going to give you my favorite PrizePicks entry for UFC Vegas 80. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say higher or lower than the numbers you see on the screen, and you can 10 times your money. They will even give you free money to play. All you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, use promo code WWP, and they will instantly match your deposit. Take that very free money, build yourself an entry, and if you win, you have 10 times the amount of free money. If you lose, well, it was their money to begin with. wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, promo code WWP. I am going to focus on this weekend's fights, but you're going to see a couple of things. One, you're going to see all of the Contender Series fights on here as well. Contender Series fights also get PrizePicks lines. Frankly, the lines are probably a mess. I don't know enough about Contender Series to come give you Contender Series picks, but I imagine neither do the people setting these lines. So if you've done a little bit of Contender Series research, or if you're a premium member and you get to see Artem's breakdown of the Contender Series, you might be able to use some of that information and attack these lines. The other thing I'll mention is, if you look across the top, this is every single sport. Every single sport, including football. It's football season, baby. Come in here, they'll give you all sorts of promos, and they'll set all sorts of like fake low lines to basically give you a half of a play, and lots of stuff going on. Get your free money at wewantpicks.com/prizepicks. Use it for UFC, use it for any sport, whatever you want. It's free money. And as soon as you play it, that is your money. If you win, you can withdraw it. There's no rollover. You just have to use it one time. They'll give it to you for free. Use it. And then it's your money every single time. Get that money, promo code WWP. Let's come in and attack some of these lines. These are early. I'm going to upload this video a little earlier than usual. A, to give you some access to early lines, and B, I have a very busy week and very busy weekend, so let's do it now and give it to you now. We're going to start with significant strikes. I typically don't like significant strikes because unless there's an insanely low line or an insanely high line, there's just too many variables with strikes because a significant strike is a subjective thing. It's a person with a clicker, literally a person. Decide, that was significant. That wasn't. There's some parameters, but essentially it's a subjective stat. But I don't see any of these that, I said A and then I never did a B, but that is what it is. None of these jump out at me. Drew Dober might need 3 strikes. It might be a 3-round war. Keelang Aori or Iroy Keelang, he may, get taken down and submitted. He may knock out Johnny Munoz. He may get knocked out. There's so many variables here. I don't love any of these. So we're going to leave these alone. Joaquin Buckley over 36.5 is probably a good line, but we're going to use him in a different part here anyway, actually fight minutes. So fight minutes, I like Joaquin Buckley here over 10.5 fight minutes. That's the only fight minute line I like because Matheus Mendonça versus Nate Maness, that could very easily go the distance, or we know how incredibly dangerous Mendonça is. Corey Lang, he's very good, but also gets finished. Johnny Munoz, very good, but also gets finished. So again, it's a little too much to work with there. Drew Dober, his chin just caved in on him. Maybe his chin is still there. Maybe it's not. A lot of things to worry about. Joe Pyfer, 4.5 fight minutes. That's one where I'm looking at the over. More than 4.5 is probably a decent line. I do think this may go the second round. Abdul Razak Al Hassan is a veteran at this point. He's got plenty of fights, a ton of experience, but they both hit very, very hard, and something could happen there. But over 4.5 fight minutes is probably a very solid line. I'm going to throw this in here. I'm going to show you the entry I already built, but Joe Pyfer over 4.5 is probably solid. And then if we go to fantasy score, there's actually 2 of these that I like. The very first one, we'll go right to the main event. Grant Dawson, over 107.5 fantasy points. If you want to see the scoring, we will just go right here, scoring chart, and here's the MMA scoring. And the reason this matters, 6 points for a takedown. A little more than half a point for a significant strike. Submission attempts, 5 points. And then here's all the bonus points for how you win. The reality is this is going to go a long time. There's going to be a bunch of takedowns. I think there will be a bunch of submission attempts by Grant Dawson. And I also think he's going to land a good amount of significant strikes. It's 5 rounds to work with here. And if there's going to be a finish in this fight, it will be on the Grant Dawson side. So I like his over 107.5 there. And then the other one I like is, where's Kanako? Where you at, Kanako? Kanako Murata, 85.5. I think she smokes Vanessa Donopoulos. We just saw 6 points for a takedown. Kanako Murata is a very high-level wrestler who's just going to pick you up, slam you, run through you. You know, the takedown entries aren't phenomenal, but the finishes are solid. And I think she's going to get a bunch of takedowns, plenty of control time, land big, heavy punches. And I think it's going to go 15 minutes, which in this case gives her plenty of time to land some strikes, defend takedown attempts as well. PrizePicks scores for defending takedowns, and we know Vanessa likes to shoot takedowns. So Kanako Murata, the more on her fantasy score. And then let's go to takedowns. Couple of takedown lines that I like. First of all, over a half of a takedown for Bill Algeo. I love that. If you go through his UFC record, every single one of his wins, he has a takedown. Every single one. I think he wins this fight. We need one takedown for this to hit. Alexander Hernandez has like a 60% takedown defense, so not the greatest takedown defense in the world. I think Bill Algeo will shoot at least one time and will get that takedown. The only other line I like is over Grant Dawson. More on 3. I think he will get more than 3 takedowns. It's a 5-round fight. He'll at least get 1 takedown per round. I don't necessarily think it's going to go to a finish. So if you don't like the Grant Dawson fantasy points, do the over on takedowns. I think the fantasy point's a little safer because Grant could win by submission, same way Islam did. But the reality is I'm going to go ahead. I'll use the fantasy points, leave the takedowns, but I think the takedown line is a very good line as well. And let me just show you that entry that I built. I went Bill Algeo, more than a half a takedown. Grant Dawson, higher on the fantasy points. Kanako Murata, more on the fantasy points. And then Joaquin Buckley, more on the fight minutes. Guys, the most important part of this is get your free money. What you do with your free money is what you want to do. This is what I did with my money. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks, promo code WWP. Take that free money, build yourself an entry. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks, promo code WWP.